The day the officials sent me to find my biological parents, I, Shin Hashing, misheard the name, and knocked on the gates of the Shin Manor. My mother was so angry she chased my father with a feather duster. "You old rascal. How dare you hide a secret daughter from me?" Father felt wronged. I didn't even know about this. Thinking they didn't like me either. I hugged my belongings, ready to leave. But my brother reached out and took my bag. "Why are you just standing there like a fool? Say something to greet them." I obediently let out a squeak. My parents and brother froze at the same time. Great, after all that, she's just a little dummy. From then on, I became the family's most protected person. Until the Lin family from next door, the eldest son came to the door with a grim face to question me. "Don't you know what your own brother looks like? Can you even get the surname wrong? I am your real brother." The magistrate said they helped me find my biological parents. They gave me a special instruction. "Girl, you must remember this clearly. You are going to the Shin Manor. Not the Shin Manor. The gates of these two houses are very close. Don't make a mistake." I promised honestly. On the way, I kept repeating to myself, "It's Shin, not Shin. Wait, is it Shin or Shin? It's Shin. Huh, which one was it exactly?" Being asked like that, I immediately forgot the word I was supposed to remember. I stopped quickly, and looking up, I realized I had already reached the gates of the Shin family. A boy stood on the stone steps, looking very grand and full of himself, staring at me with curiosity. "I guess this is the Shin family." Gathering my courage, I pulled out the longevity lock I had carried since childhood. "My name is Yuju. I'm here to find my family." The boy's eyes immediately turned to disgust. He sneered and said, "You greedy little scammers. You think because my mother is sick from missing her daughter, you can just run here and pretend to be my sister? Do you really take us Shins for fools? You look like you're only 12 or 13. Humph. Can't you find anything else to do? Why come out here to swindle people?" My mind went completely blank from being scolded. I blurted out instinctively, "I'm not a liar, the magistrate sent me here." My stomach chose that moment to growl loudly. I had been busy traveling since early morning, and I hadn't eaten a single bite. I quickly used my bundle to hide my belly, trying to cover up that embarrassing noise. The boy raised an eyebrow. "You haven't eaten?" I nodded hastily. "Wait here." He turned and went inside. After a short while, he came out with a plate of meat and white buns, and handed them over. "Eat up." I was stunned. I really couldn't tell that despite his sharp tongue. He actually had a kind heart. Brother Shin didn't seem so hard to talk to after all. I happily reached out to take the plate. The boy suddenly pulled the plate back, and threw everything to the wild dogs nearby. His face was full of malice. "Don't think playing pathetic will earn my sympathy. Now get lost, you little scammer." I was dumbfounded. My face burned with shame. My previous joy had turned into the humiliation of being toyed with. How could he do something like that? "If you don't think I'm your sister, you could just say so. Why must you insult me?" Before I could finish, he impatiently cut me off. "Why would a filthy liar talk to me? I'd let a dog into this house before I let you in." With those words, he called the dog into the yard, and with a loud clatter, the gate slammed shut. I was so angry I wanted to yell, but there was no one there. I felt incredibly stifled and wronged. I must have misheard the name. The official must have said Shin. It couldn't be Shin. How could my family be so annoying? Holding back my frustration, I walked over to the neighboring Shin Manor. I knocked on the door nervously. Just then, the gate opened. Someone walked out, carrying a lunchbox, and holding a kite in their hand. It looked like they were going for a spring outing. The woman in the lead stared at me. "Little girl, what are you doing at the Shin Manor?" "I'm looking for my family." I held up the longevity lock. The woman gasped. From out of nowhere, she pulled out a feather duster, and swung it hard at the man dazing nearby. "You bastard. How dare you have a child behind my back?" The man was jumping up and down from the blows, and started running for his life, crying out in a very wronged voice. "Wife, I've been framed. I didn't know anything about this. Maybe she's yours?" "Nonsense. Do you think I don't know how many I've given birth to? You old scoundrel. You swore to only have me in this life. Yet you went and plucked wild flowers behind my back. I'm going to finish you off today." She chased him in a fury. He ran, shouting for help. The whole place was in complete chaos. I gripped my longevity lock tightly, and lowered my head. It seemed the Shin Manor wasn't it either. How could the magistrate lie and say they found my family? Not wanting to be scolded a second time, I sensibly picked up my bundle, preparing to slip away. The boy who had been hiding in the back walked up to me. A slender, handsome hand took my bundle. He was very different from that arrogant brat at the other Shin house. He was refined, and spoke gently. "Why are you just standing there like a fool? Since you're already here, say something to greet them." As if by reflex, I obediently replied. Squeak. He was dumbfounded. The man and woman who were fighting nearby also froze. Oh no. It turns out she's just a little dummy. I was led into the Shin household, and given a plate of pastries to eat. They were whispering among themselves. I could vaguely hear them saying, "She's so young. What if she runs into someone with bad intentions? It wouldn't be right to ignore her. Let's just consider it a daily act of kindness." In the end, they took me in as their daughter. The timid man became my father. The hot-tempered woman became my mother. And the cool-faced boy became my brother. The three of them huddled their heads together, staring at me intently. I felt a bit uncomfortable. I set down the plate. Is there any work to be done in the house? I can sweep, wash clothes, and cook. Mother was the first to speak up. Her tone was urgent. Work? What work? We didn't bring you here to be a slave girl. Ugh, look at this poor, bullied soul. Don't you know how to be happy? I quickly forced a big smile. Mother, does smiling like this look good? She froze. You silly girl. If I tell you to be happy, you're just happy? Don't you have any thoughts of your own? I scratched my head. As long as I'm obedient, I won't get bullied. As for what happened before I was 3, I've forgotten it all. I just remember begging everywhere. If I pleased people, I got to eat. Later, a family kept me as a servant girl. The old lady was very kind to me, and often gave me some spare change. But the other servant girls didn't like me. They always stole my reward money, intentionally bumped into me in the corridors, and threw bugs into my food. I argued and fought with them, even pulling each other's hair. But the result was that on a freezing day, my only thick coat for warmth was shredded, and cold water was poured into my bed. I cried many times in secret, unable to understand how I had offended them. Until I figured it out. Whatever they told me to do, I would just do it. I let them tease me for their amusement. Once they got bored, they eventually stopped bothering with me. So, I'm very well behaved. Mother stopped talking, and ruffled my hair forcefully. You really are a bit slow. When others bully you, you should fight back with everything you've got. I answered honestly. They have parents as their support, but I don't. No one would help me get justice. She fell silent again. Father and brother were also quiet after hearing this, their eyes filled with a trace of pity. Suddenly, Mother grabbed me, and headed straight for her room. She called for servants to prepare hot water for my bath, and put beautiful, comfortable clothes on me. I stood there blankly, letting Mother fuss over me. When the final pearl hairpin was inserted, Mother examined me carefully and smacked her lips. She's so damn pretty. I didn't expect this little, well, to actually be such a beauty in the making. Coincidentally, Father and brother arrived. Hearing Mother's coarse language, Father reminded her in a low voice, Shoo, dear, don't use foul language in front of the child. Mother slapped him once. Father behaved immediately. He gave a thumbs up. She's indeed handsome. No foul language allowed. Father whimpered, covering his face in grievance. I was dazed by the sight. My mother is truly fierce. Brother calmly handed me an apple. You'll get used to it. Father thinks hits are affection and scolding is love. He just loves being beaten by Mother. Come on, brother will show you to your courtyard. It was just tidied up. You came too suddenly. So what Father and I prepared isn't complete. If anything is missing, just tell me. But the shabby courtyard brother mentioned was actually spacious and airy. The room even had a faint sweet scent. Everything inside was fresh and tidy, better than any place I had ever stayed in before. As he was leaving, brother added, Mother isn't annoyed by you. She's just sharp-tongued with a soft heart. She actually loves girls very much. She's always complaining about why I'm a son. Father and I have always hoped for a sister. But Mother's health suffered when she had me, and she couldn't conceive again. His ears turned red. Could you call me brother? I blinked my eyes. Brother. His breath hitched for a moment. He immediately pulled out a stack of banknotes for me, and even took off the gold ornament from his waist. A gift from your brother. If you need more money, just ask. So calling him brother gets me money? I lay on the soft bed, confused, clutching the banknotes and gold pendant. I blamed the magistrate wrongly. The magistrate definitely meant the Shin family. I just didn't hear clearly, and mistook it for that bully's manner. Because I came home, they didn't go on their spring outing. Instead, they changed their minds and made a grand dinner. Afraid of being called ill-mannered, I tried to reach for the plate of vegetables in front of me. But as soon as I picked some up, Mother slapped it away, replacing it with a large drumstick. Why are you eating greens? This is the good stuff. Eat more meat. You're as thin as a monkey, it's not enough. Not even enough for one slap from me. Mother was complaining, but she kept piling meat into my bowl. I understood Mother was just sharp-tongued, but very kind-hearted. So I gave her a drumstick too. Mother let out a soft humph, glancing at Father and brother, and tapped her chopsticks on the rim of her bowl, as if she were showing off to them. Father and brother. I understood instantly. I gave each of them a piece of meat. Father chuckled happily. Having a daughter is truly different. I even get meat. Brother didn't say a word, but he quietly slipped another new gold pendant to me. In less than one night, I had become. It's so good to have. After eating, my parents asked about my age. Knowing I was just 12, they told me to go to school with brother tomorrow. Who would have thought that as soon as I went out the next day, I ran into that Shin boy who had scolded me? He was wearing the same school uniform as us. Upon seeing me, he let out a cold snort. You little beggar. What do you plan on swindling today? Brother's face darkened. Shin Yu. Watch your filthy mouth. This is my little sister, Shin Yuju. Ha ha ha, you must be crazy for a sister. You'd taken someone whose background isn't even clear? Watch out, she'll swindle your family dry. The Shin family doesn't lack money. It's none of your business. As for you, don't think showing a little humanity makes you anything more than a beast. Brother's casual insult made Shinyu's face turn red with anger. What a perfect retort. I followed brother away in high spirits. On the way, he told me to stay away from Shinyu. Only then did I understand. The two of them were natural rivals. They couldn't get along since childhood, competing in grades, knowledge, and even their height. Shinyu always lost to my brother. So he would pick a fight with him at every opportunity, though he never succeeded. If brother dislikes someone, then I dislike them too. I didn't like Shinyu from the start anyway. Brother smiled slightly and patted my head. Good girl, to look after me better. Brother explained the situation to the teacher and had me attend his class. He told everyone I was his newly found sister, not wanting to embarrass him. I woke up early to make my best osmanthus rice cakes to share with brother's classmates. So delicious. I never would have thought, Shin Yan. Your sister is not only pretty but also very skilled. We've heard you grumbling many times about how you wished for a sister. We thought you were an only child. But you were just waiting for your sister to come home. Sister, give me another piece. These are really too fragrant. I quickly handed them over. Brother's chin was held high, looking very proud. At this moment, Shinyu entered and mocked. What's so great about a simple cake? Aren't you all just trying to flatter the Shins? As he spoke, he snatched a cake from someone's hand. He was about to say something mean. But his brow furrowed. Why is it made just like my mother's? Both like to use yellow millet for filling. I got defensive. I didn't give birth to such a fool for a son. Shinyu's face turned green. The people around him couldn't help but burst into laughter. Brother also narrowed his eyes. My sister isn't wrong. She's not even an adult yet. Don't go around calling people mother. It ruins her reputation. Shinyu grew even angrier. He gave me a ferocious glare, threw the cake down with a smack, and left. I stood my ground and didn't let my legs go weak. I have a brother now, I won't back down. In the afternoon, brother was held back by the teacher to discuss exam matters. So he told me to head home first. The school wasn't far from home, just across the street. But I saw an older man at the gate, slumped on the stone steps outside the Shin Manor. He was sighing deeply and clutching his stomach. After thinking for a moment, I handed him the leftover cakes. If you're hungry, you can try these. I know how painful and tormenting it is to have an empty stomach. The man shook his head. Thank you, little girl. I'm not hungry. I'm just worried because my wife's illness won't get better. And my son is so inconsiderate. He doesn't focus on his studies. And he has a terrible temper. I tried to comfort him, saying, whenever there's a sickness, there's always a cure. Besides, no matter how bad your son is, he couldn't possibly be worse than the young master of the Shin family. Pointing towards the Shin house, I lowered my voice. Sir, you have no idea. That Shin boy is so mean. He toyed with me using food. He's worse than an animal. The man's expression darkened a bit. If I were his parent, raising a child like that, I'd die of anger 800 times a day. His face darkened even more. So, compared to that boy, doesn't your son seem much better? I asked with a bright smile. Just then, my father happened to come home. Yuju, what are you chatting about with Master Shin next door? Master Shin? Wait, isn't that Shinyu's father? I immediately shut my smiling mouth. Master Shin was more tolerant than Shinyu. He didn't hold my insults against his son against me. He even praised my rice cakes for being sweet and fragrant. But as he left, his back seemed much more hunched. Father said the other Shin family was actually quite tragic. They originally had a little daughter, but she went missing when she was 3. Master Shin was devastated, and his wife lost her mind. She was resting at a manor outside the city. Knowing the bitterness of losing family myself, I couldn't help but separate Shinyu from his family. In the future, I would only scold Shinyu, and never his family. The next day, I went to school with brother as usual. But Shinyu had taken over my seat, and made a mess of the books I had brought yesterday. What do you think you're doing? I should be asking you that. Why did you steal my jade pendant? Shinyu sneered, looking at me sideways. Not only are you a scheming girl trying to climb the social ladder, but you're also a little thief. I often take my jade pendant off and leave it in the classroom. It's never gone missing before. But right after you came in yesterday, the jade pendant disappeared. You're the poorest person in this entire school. And you even went to my house to deceive people. Who else could it be but you? Being wrongly accused for no reason. I felt both furious and stifled. Brother frowned and asked, why would she go to your house to deceive people? Shin Yuju went to the Shin Manor a couple of days ago to pretend to be my sister. I saw right through her, so she ran to your house to act pitiful. She's nothing but a petty thief and a liar. Only your family would treat her as some innocent little thing. Shinyu tilted his chin towards me. Hey, apologize to me now, and I'll let you off the hook. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out of the school. I didn't steal his jade pendant at all. Why should I apologize? But my classmates were entering the room one after another, stopping nearby to watch the drama. Their eyes kept darting between me and brother. They were whispering among themselves. How could Xinyan's sister steal someone's things? If the teacher finds out about this, it will surely affect his major exam next year. Xinyan has always been well behaved. He never likes causing trouble. But his sister just arrived and is already causing trouble for him. If I were Xinyan, he even had the mind to want to kick her out of the house. The truth of this matter hadn't even been uncovered yet. But he was so certain Yuzhu was a thief. He was being far too impulsive. Calculating the time, the teacher would be arriving soon. My nails dug into my palms. If I take the blame for this, and the teacher doesn't find out the truth, it wouldn't delay my brother's imperial exams. But if I don't admit it, I can preserve my innocence. I refuse to fall for Xinyu's tricks. Should I admit it or not? My brother is so good to me, I don't want to cause any trouble for him. I choked back tears and spoke up. Yes. Yuzhu. My brother interrupted the weak words I was about to say. His gaze was firm. You haven't done anything wrong. There's no need to admit to anything. I believe you never touched it. Fight back. You have your brother and parents to protect you. You don't need to pretend to be a good girl anymore. No one will ever dare to bully you again. That's right, family is supposed to be the strongest support. I don't need to be so timid and hesitant. I sniffled, pointed at Xinyu, and said word by word, with every word carrying weight. You big idiot. Who cares about your stupid jade? I have a gold chain my brother gave me, which is far more valuable than your trash. You spend all day being cynical and mocking others. And you even dare to frame people and throw dirt on them. Why don't you just pick a day and get lost? Make that day a holiday for everyone, you stupid pig. Xinyu was so angry from my verbal lashing that he panted heavily, unable to spit out a single word. He lunged straight at me. My brother shielded me from the front. His eyes filled with murderous intent. What do you think you're doing to my sister? She cursed at me. Are you deaf? Humph. That's because you deserved it. I will definitely ask the teacher to investigate this. To give my sister justice. When that time comes, don't forget to apologize, you stupid pig. Xinyu's face was full of grievance. Just as he was about to argue, the teacher arrived. My brother immediately explained the whole story to the teacher. After a body search, the jade pendant was actually found in Xinyu's own pocket. He was just resentful that I caused him to be mocked yesterday. So he intentionally set a trap to mess with me. In the end, Xinyu not only had to bow and apologize to me, but his palms were also beaten red by the teacher's ruler. He was also punished by being made to copy the classics 100 times. Xinyu was exploding with rage, but he had no way to deal with it. Who told him to try and plot against me? On the way home from school, my brother bought me a stick of candied haws. Yuzhu, you did great today. Whoever tries to push you around is exactly who you should resist. If cursing doesn't satisfy you, then punch them. If you can't win the fight, come find your brother. Do you hear me? I hear you. I nodded heavily. Just as I was about to take a bite of the hawthorn, someone suddenly grabbed my hand. Little girl, you're my daughter, yeah. Before I could even realize what was happening, my brother had already pulled the woman away. Auntie Shin. You've mistaken her. She's my sister, not your daughter. The woman was dressed in fine silks and satins, but her face was sallow. She kept muttering to herself, insisting I was her little girl. My brother held her back firmly, preventing her from lunging at me again. Yuzhu, go back home first. Madam Shen is having an episode. I'll escort her back home. He helped the woman towards the Shen house. Was that the wife Master Shen mentioned was seriously ill? Xinyu's biological mother? Once I got home, I couldn't contain my curiosity, so I asked my mother about the mistress of the Shen family. Surprisingly, my mother didn't say anything harsh. Madam Shen is a pitiful person. She and Master Shen originally had a son and a daughter, but their daughter went missing when she was 3. She cried every day in agony, longing for her little girl, and eventually, she lost her mind. This story wasn't uncommon in the city. There were always people with bad intentions, who tried to pose as the Shen family's daughter. Master Shen was afraid Madam Shen couldn't take it, having her hopes dashed every time, so he sent her outside the city to recuperate. This morning, Master Shen brought her back home. Word was they had found a lead on the daughter's whereabouts. I'm not sure what happened, but the person didn't arrive. Madam Shen's emotions were fluctuating wildly, and she was triggered into another bout of madness. No wonder Xinyu cursed at me and called me a liar when we first met. He actually misunderstood me, thinking I was one of those scammers. Just then, father came into the room, acting all mysterious, and said, Hey, that brat Xinyu has caused trouble for his father again. I just saw the school teacher coming out of the Shen house. He must have come to file a complaint. He framed me today. I told my parents what happened at the school. My mother slammed her hand on the table and stood up. That little bastard. It's one thing that he doesn't get along with Xinyan. They're kids of the same age. So I've always turned a blind eye. But now he actually dares to bully my daughter. Does he really think our Shen family is a pushover? Father hurriedly tried to restrain her. Wife, don't get so angry. If you're going there to settle the score, how can you go without a proper weapon? He nimbly handed her a feather duster. My mother immediately retracted her hand that was about to smack him. Let's go to the Shen house for an explanation. She looked quite fierce and menacing. Don't kill anyone and get our family in trouble. I hurriedly chased after her. Master Shen was scolding Xinyu in the main hall. My mother didn't hold back at all. She raised the feather duster and started thrashing Xinyu. How dare you try to smear my daughter's reputation? I'll beat the life out of you today. Your mother is too busy to discipline you, so I will. Stop it. Auntie Shen, I admit my mistake. My mother ignored him, he ran, she chased. He was howling in pain. Meanwhile, my father was busy exchanging pleasantries with Master Shen. Master Shen Liang. Our families have a good relationship. It's just a little conflict between kids. Master Shen was complaining about his troubles to father, but he didn't forget to contribute. Madam Shen, quick, he's trying to slip away to the left. My father predicted Xinyu's steps, helping my mother corner him for the beating. Master Shen even specially instructed, hit him a few more times, hit him on my behalf too. I was dumbfounded. You can actually have someone else hit your own kid for you? In front of me were the osmanthus rice cakes steamed this morning. I handed them to Master Shen. I promised you last time, uncle, that I'd save a portion for you the next time I steamed rice cakes. Master Shen patted my head. I'm sorry, Yuzhu. Sigh, I was too busy before, and didn't have time to discipline Xinyu, which made him so lawless. He bullied you. I heard from your brother. Did my wife scare you today? No, Madam Shen isn't scary at all. Just as I finished speaking, Madam Shen came out, supported by a maid. Presumably having taken her medicine, she seemed much more lucid. Master Shen hurriedly went over to support her. Try a piece of rice cake. This little girl made it. She's just like you. She loves using yellow millet as filling. Madam Shen's eyes lit up when she saw me. Little girl, have you always lived in the city? I came to the city 2 years ago. I used to live in Fuliu town. Master Shen was stunned. Madam Shen clutched him tightly. Yaya was lost in Fuliu town. I took her there to offer incense, and it was so crowded. In the blink of an eye, she was gone. She must be Yaya. Seeing Madam Shen having another episode, Master Shen quickly helped her back into the rear quarters. My mother was also tired from beating Xinyu, so she led me, father, and my brother back home. Father frowned. Why does Madam Shen lose control the moment she sees Yuzhu? My mother pondered for a moment. Maybe because Yuzhu is around the same age as her daughter. Seeing her reminds her of Yaya. From now on, Yuzhu, don't go to the Shen house so often. To prevent them from snatching you away. That couple from the other Shen family really adores their daughter. I obediently made a mental note. Father leaned closer to mother in a teasing way. Didn't you dislike Yuzhu before? And even suspected she was some wild child? Ha ha ha, now you're afraid she'll be taken away. You. Mother slapped him. Mind your own business. Father quieted down. My brother and I stifled our laughter. Father really does seem miserable if he doesn't get a beating for a day. The next day at school, Xinyu had a bruised face and a swollen nose. He didn't dare to cause any more trouble, but he was still stubborn. Taking advantage of my brother being away, he threw harsh words at me. Shin Yuzhu, don't be so arrogant. Wait until the day the Shin family gets tired of you and throws you out. Ha ha ha, I'll see how you'll be smiling then. Humph. You don't really think Shin Yan cares about you as a sister, do you? If I had a wretched sister like you, I'd want to go and die 1,000 times. If it were in the past, I would definitely have been overthinking things uncontrollably, feeling aggrieved while clenching my teeth in endurance. But now, I just rolled my eyes at him. Stupid pig. Stop dreaming. You won't have the fortune to have me as a sister even in your next life. A sister who is so obedient, smart, and knows how to cook. Before leaving, I even made a face at Xinyu. I'll annoy you to death. My brother found out that I fought back, and happily stuffed a stack of silver notes into my hand as a reward. Buy whatever you like. If you run out of money, come find your brother. Thank you, brother. I happily tucked the money away, planning to find some time to buy things for the family. After all, they treated me so well, but I had never given them anything. After dinner, I was about to go out, but there was a knock at the outer gate. Xinyu was standing outside, completely lacking the hatred he had for me during the day. He reached out with a strange expression. I figured Xinyu's head must have been scrambled by my mother's feather duster. Why should I give my things to you? Xinyu panicked. I have a use for it. As if remembering something, he turned his face away. I can help you find your biological parents. My parents are right inside the house. Do you really need to tell me that? I annoyedly prepared to close the door, but was suddenly stopped by Xinyu lunging forward. Just take it as me begging you, okay? It was the first time I saw him begging someone in a low voice. I was dazed for a moment. After entering the Shin household, my parents and brother indeed never mentioned the longevity lock from beginning to end. Was there something in all of this that I didn't know? After hesitating for a while, I took out the longevity lock and instructed. I'll only let you take a look. You must not break it. This is something I've carried since I was a child. Even when I was starving, I couldn't bear to pawn it. In the blink of an eye, Xinyu forcefully broke my longevity lock. I shouldn't have trusted him at all. You bastard. I'm going to kill you. Suddenly, a slip of paper was pulled out from the shattered pieces of the lock. I froze. After wearing it for so many years, I didn't even know there was a piece of paper inside. Moving closer, I saw a row of birth data on the yellowed paper. Is this really mine? Shinyu ignored me, staring at the note, as if he wanted to see through it. His eyes were glazed over. This is definitely Yaya's birth date. How can it be you? Why is it you? He roared, almost driven to madness. A moment later, he looked at me, furious and flustered. Shinyu, no, Shinyu. Do you not even know what your parents and brother look like? Can you even get the surname wrong? Your parents' surname is Shin, not the other Shin. I am your biological brother. I was stunned. It took a long time for me to accept this fact. Shinyu seemed even more pained than I was. I actually drove away the biological sister I've waited 9 years for, and even cursed at her. If mom and dad find out I played tricks on her, they'll surely beat me to death. He suddenly looked towards me, his expression even holding a hint of fawning. Yaya, we're biological siblings. You can't just watch me get beaten to death by mom and dad, right? Whatever you do, don't tell them it was me who drove you away. That day, I really didn't know you were here to find your family. I thought the government was just fooling us. That they couldn't find her and just found someone random to brush us off. I'll take you home right now. I hurriedly backed away, unwilling to let him touch me. My name is Yuju, not Yaya. My home is right here. As soon as I finished speaking, I immediately slammed the door shut. No matter how Shinyu banged on the door and called for me from outside, my mind was already a complete mess. Who could have expected that stupid pig would be my brother? I really did get the two Shin surnames mixed up. After hesitating for a moment, I still told everything to my parents and brother. I didn't want to hide anything from them. The whole family's eyes widened in shock, and father sighed. What a strange twist of fate. The daughter lost by the other Shin family actually ended up right by our side. Mother said, Yuju, no matter what you're thinking, we will abide by your decision. If you want to go meet your biological parents, we'll help arrange it. If you don't want to see them, then you're the Shin family's biological daughter. The distressed expression of Madam Shin popped into my mind. I bit my lip. Let's meet once. At least let my biological mother know that the daughter she longs for is still alive and well. My mother always acted with thunderous speed. That very night, she invited the couple from the other Shin family over. Shinyu hadn't dared to mention finding me at all. The Shin couple were completely in the dark. Why did you call us over so urgently? Did Shinyu cause trouble again? Father carefully chose his words. The daughter you've been dreaming of. Mother swatted him away. Stop dragging it out. Our Yuju is your biological daughter. Her birth date was hidden in her longevity lock. The two of them froze. I held up the broken gold longevity lock. Without even looking at the note, Madam Shin pulled me into a tight embrace. Mom knew. You are my own flesh and blood. That lock was something I personally had made for you. Right when you were born. Master Shin murmured to himself. No wonder you're just like my wife. Both of you love eating osmanthus and yellow millet. The day you scolded Shinyu, I should have been angry. But as soon as I saw your face, I couldn't stay mad. My daughter, you've suffered so much. The two of them cried until they were almost out of breath. I was slightly flustered, trying to pat their backs to comfort them. After they finished crying, my biological mother asked expectantly, Can mom take you home right now? My parents and brother immediately grew anxious. I spoke truthfully. I'm very happy with the Shin family. I don't want to leave. But I can go back and visit you often. It wasn't that I didn't care about my biological parents. First, Shinyu is infuriating. I don't want a stupid pig for a biological brother. Second, I can't leave the Shin household. During this time, they've pampered me like their own child. I can't abandon them just because I found my biological parents. My biological father looked troubled. But your mother's illness. Unexpectedly, my biological mother pulled him back, then gently patted my hand. Mom understands your heart. Mom only asks that you stay healthy and safe. Besides, the two houses are right next to each other. You can come back to visit mom and dad anytime. Thank you, Shin. Thank you, mom. My biological mother was so happy that she cried again. She immediately took off the gold bracelet from her wrist and gave it to me. Your brother has missed you very much these past few years too. Mom will go and call him over right away. No need, mom. I'll tell my brother personally when the time comes. Shinyu teased me and even cursed at me. I'm definitely not going to let him off easy. I was snickering happily in my heart. After my biological parents left, mother came into my room at night. Before leaving after giving me new clothes to wear tomorrow, she suddenly added, Yuju, the Shin household will always be your home. My thought is, even if you return to the other Shin family in the future, me, your father, and your brother will always be your family. My heart felt warm. I hugged mother. I understand. It's because I have this Shin family as my support that I've been able to hold my head high now. My biological parents acted reliably. They really didn't tell Shinyu that we had already recognized each other. The next day, when I went to school, Shinyu treated me with unprecedented politeness. First, he gave me snacks famous in the city. Then a beautiful pearl necklace. He asked respectfully, Do you want to come back home with me today? The classmates nearby were bewildered. Shinyu. Don't you hate Shinyuju the most? Why are you being so subservient to her? I still prefer the way you were before. Arrogant and unrestrained. Could it be that you've taken a liking to Shinyuju? My brother's face suddenly darkened. Shinyu's face turned ashen. He picked up a book and threw it over. Shut your trap. What do you know? Yeah. Shinyuju is my sister. My biological sister. While everyone was dumbfounded, I pulled out a rope noose I had prepared. You said if I were your sister, you'd die 1,000 times. Go ahead, I'll be keeping count for you. I was just trying to scare Shinyu. Who told him to threaten me? Saying the Shin family would abandon me? But Shinyu took it seriously. He immediately tied a slipknot, wanting to die. As long as you're willing to forgive me, and agree to come home with me, it'll be worth it even if I'm strangled to death today. My brother snorted coldly. Don't think a self-harm trick can fool Yuju. Back when you were teasing and playing tricks on Yuju, and even framed her for stealing money, calling her a petty thief and a liar, why didn't you think about making amends then? If she weren't your biological sister, would she have had to suffer your bullying in vain? And never get an apology from you for the rest of her life? My brother is right. Shinyu has such a terrible temper. Setting aside blood relations, he's purely an annoying character. Exposed, Shinyu became exasperated. I'm talking to my sister. What business is it of yours? Insulting my brother? That won't do. I immediately jumped up to apologize to my brother. Shinyu exploded. I'm your biological brother. So what? If you don't acknowledge it, I'll go and tell mom and dad. I could have come home, but you were the one who drove me away. He immediately lost all his fight, and dejectedly bowed his head to my brother. I'm so sorry. I lost. My brother gave a cold snort. Behind his back, he gave me a big thumbs up. Nice job, little sister. I also found ways to mess with Shinyu. I intentionally ordered him to pour tea and water for my brother. You used to exclude my brother all the time, so there's no reason not to pay it back now, right? My brother understood me. He purposefully started finding faults. This is too hot, pour it out. Now it's too cold, pour it out again. Are you a stupid pig? Don't you know to check the temperature when making tea? Shinyu's face turned ashen, but he didn't dare to snap. After refilling the water, he helped massage my brother's legs and shoulders. My brother let out a hiss. Did you not eat? Why is your strength so weak? Are you trying to pinch me to death? Shinyu had finally had enough and stared intently at me. His grievance finally outweighed his guilt. Shinyan doesn't have a drop of blood relation with you. He's purely an outsider. And yet you're just standing there watching him bully your brother? Then I'll go tell mom and dad. How do you like young Master Shin's effort now? Shinyu turned his face around instantly, and went back to putting on a sycophantic smile for my brother. When the massage was done, I casually tossed him a copper coin. A tip. Talk about adding insult to injury. Shinyu reached his breaking point, losing all sense of pride. He curled up in a corner of the schoolhouse, crying his heart out. He sounded like a boiling kettle. Taudamei. Why did I take revenge for her back then? She fooled me. And Xingxian, feeding wild dogs to disgust people. I never should have been so stubborn and held a grudge. Insulting her every day. Just trying to win back some face. Oh heavens, I admit defeat. Ah, so noisy. After spending so much time with mother, I've also developed a bit of a temper. A fruit pit hit him right on the forehead. Shut up. Shinyu immediately covered his mouth tightly. His body was shaking with suppressed sobs, both hilarious and pitiful. After school, I went home to eat with my biological parents. Whenever it was a rest day, with no classes, the parents would take us on outings to fly kites. My biological mother's health visibly improved. She was smiling every day. She no longer called me Yaya. She followed my lead and called me by my nickname, Yuju. Only that big stupid pig Shinyu was still being duped. He didn't know anything, and would even mutter. The new doctor dad hired is actually quite impressive. Mom doesn't go crazy anymore. He was so foolish I didn't even want to mock him. Who knew that when I woke up and went out today, the courtyard would be completely empty? It was so deathly silent, it felt like everything that had happened recently was just a dream I'd had. Just then, my father and mother walked out, carrying a steaming bowl of noodles. My biological parents and Shinyu followed behind them. Yuju. Happy birthday. My biological mother handed me the noodles. I suddenly remembered that piece of paper I'd seen. Today was my birthday. Before, I never knew when my birthday was. Watching others have parents cook long-life noodles for them, I could only make wishes secretly in envy, hoping that one day I could also be reunited with my family and celebrate a birthday. But I waited 1 year, then another, and never did my family come looking for me. Later, I heard others say you could register with the government to help find relatives. I waited for another full year and a half before the government finally notified me of news about my family. My old wish has actually come true now, and I even ended up with 2 families. I hurriedly wiped my eyes and picked up the chopsticks to eat the noodles in big mouthfuls. It's delicious. Father gave a chuckle. Of course it is. Father boiled the water for the noodles himself. It's different from other water. As expected, he got slapped by mother again. What's so great about boiling water? Madam Shen and I kneaded this dough together. Did we brag about it? Dad boiled the eggs. Right after that, my brother came over to tell me. I washed the vegetables. We didn't let Shinyu help at all. Brother knows you hate him. So feel free to eat with peace of mind. Shinyu's gaze was full of resentment, but since both sets of parents were there, he didn't dare speak up. I couldn't help but chuckle. After eating and drinking my fill, both sets of parents and my brother all prepared gifts for me. They ranged from land deeds and property titles, to gold bars and emeralds. When it was Shinyu's turn, he even complained to me. I treated you like a sister, but you played me like a fool. If it wasn't your birthday today, I wouldn't even have known you recognized Mom and Dad ages ago. Quick, look at the gift I got you. I opened his box, and a big frog suddenly jumped out. While I was still dazed, Shinyu acted like a madman, pulling out a peace buckle hidden at the very bottom of the box. How was that? A scare followed by a surprise. Isn't it great? I took a deep breath. You know what? I never told Mom and Dad your secret. Shinyu's eyes lit up. Good sister. I knew you still cared about me as your brother, but I've decided to tell them today. Before he could even react, I blurted out everything about how he tried to drive me away. After hearing this, my biological parents snapped off a willow branch on the spot and lashed out at Shinyu with all their might. You little brat. I wondered why Yuju spoke ill of you the first time we met. Turns out you're the reason she didn't come home. Your biological sister was finally found with such difficulty, and you actually chased her away. No wonder people curse at you. You really are a big stupid pig. You still dare to run? The old lady threw her slipper at the back of his head. The two of them chased Shinyu around. When my other parents learned I'd been bullied by him, their anger also rose, and they joined in on the beating. The courtyard immediately became extremely lively. Both sets of parents were cursing and yelling, while Shinyu was wailing. Wasn't it what he said? A surprise followed by a scare. I simply reversed the order for him. Why is he still howling so loudly? I sat quietly with my brother, watching the show. Finally, when the two pairs of parents had exhausted their strength, a bruised and battered Shinyu barely escaped with his life. Before returning to the Shin residence, Shinyu came to find me, groaning in pain. You little girl. You're not some sensible, pitiful thing at all. You're a total mischievous devil. Exclusively pranking your own brother. He grumbled. Then suddenly stuffed several pieces of silver into my hands, along with two very familiar jade hairpins. These were rewards given to me by the old lady, back when I was a maid, but later they were snatched away by others. How did they end up in his hands? As if seeing my confusion, Shinyu said, that day, I sent someone to Fulia Town to investigate your past. I originally wanted to know more about you, so you'd stop being angry with me. I didn't expect to hear that your days as a maid weren't very easy. So, I taught a lesson to those people who had toyed with you, and got back everything they had stolen from you. I was stunned. I didn't expect him to actually do something decent. Shinyu scratched his head. The beating is over. The scolding is over. And you've vented your anger. Can you stop being at odds with your brother now? I can stop being angry, but I won't forgive you. He holds grudges, and so do I. For those who have toyed with me, I can never forgive them in this lifetime. Shinyu was extremely dejected, but there was nothing he could do. When he left, his mouth was full of regret. If I'd known she was my sister, I wouldn't have chased her away even if I'd turned into a dog that day. If I could go back in time, I would definitely slap myself hard across the face. Ha ha ha. Hearing that, I couldn't help but laugh. Whether I'm willing to call Shinyu brother in the future, to be honest, I don't know. All I know is, I now have two sets of parents who dote on me. One older brother, and one big stupid pig. Haha, I'm finally a child with a home.